This week on Hooligan Nation, we conclude our journey through the 80s in hard rock and heavy metal. Hold on tight. We're talking about Bon Jovi, Poison, Iron Maiden, Mötley Crüe, and so much more. Stay tuned, because you got
nothing to lose.
Say it one more time. Different voice.
Nothing to lose.
I love it when I get you to do something like that.
You wanted the best. Well, they retired. So you got two dudes in a garage.
Talking KISS.
Welcome to the Hooligan Nation, a KISS-Centric podcast, the podcast where the riffs are loud, but our opinions are louder. I am Anthony.
I am Rocco.
Can you spell that?
R-O-C-C-O.
Oh, very
whoa,
good.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Who's a big boy now? What's up, Father Rocco? Oh, thank you.
How you doing?
I appreciate that.
How are you today?
I am Ducky.
Whack, whack, whack.
What's up, hooligans?
What's up, hooligans?
Wow, we're going to bring back more animal sounds.
Just realized I did that.
Last week we had a Wookiee, we had some sheep, and we had a horse.
Yeah, be careful with that power suggestion. It makes me go in different weird directions. So the voices in my head sometimes just come out.
I know, all 37 of them. Trust me. I'm well aware, and so are the hooligans now. This week, we conclude our journey back to the greatest decade of our music, the 80s. But
Absolutely.
before that, we have news, music we're listening to, and of course, our weekly poll. And boy, our weekly poll is a shocker. But first, last episode recap, Big Hair, Bigger Hits, the ultimate 80s hard rock and heavy metal retrospective, part 2. Father Rocco, you have anything you'd like to add?
I think in the 80s, this has been a lot of fun because I love the 80s. I mean, we're covering the core of what we, of the music, but I love the 80s the movies of the 80s. It was such a more of an innocent, in my mind, an innocent time. Things are a little crazy now, so it's nice to escape the last couple weeks into our 80s.
That might be the understatement of this podcast.
Ain't that the truth? But I love my fellow man. Do you love your fellow man?
I do.
Okay.
Even those that I don't agree with.
Right.
And don't agree with their perspectives.
And let's do this together. And that's all we got to say about that.
It is. It is absolutely all we got to say about that. The 80s, in my opinion, was the greatest decade. It was at least the greatest decade of our lifetime.
Absolutely.
Everybody knows we're both big MTV fans.
Yep.
And MTV is front and center. Only thing that I can say about now that's better is technology, and
and that has two different lanes to it too.
but
social media.
Well, yeah. I mean, social media is a problem, I think. But we didn't have YouTube. There would be no one here to listen to us.
That's true. We
would have had to stretch a soup can and some string for us to do this in the 80s. Now we get cool computers with Zoom and stuff and all that. I mean, that's
I do love
great.
I do love my YouTube. Excuse me.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Did you get any on yourself?
No.
All right, cool, yo. News. You got any news?
Yeah.
Well, you want to share it with the class?
Oh, you want to hear it?
Well, if you want to write it and stick it to the screen, I'm sure we'll all read it.
Okay. Two little things to notice. I think I've made it known on here that one of the relatively new artists that's been getting very popular, even more since the Ozzy back to the beginning. I'm a big Youngblood fan. I've been following him, and he has been working with Aerosmith on a song, My Only Angel song. It's a teaser for it. So they're working on music together. And it's also the first new Aerosmith music since the 2012 studio album, Music from Another Dimension. And then I also had sent, if you're on our Hooligan Facebook page, I had sent more of a snippet with an interview from Youngblood, it's only one of like 5 songs.
Look at you. Look at you. Look at you trying to get our hooligans to slide over to the Facebook page. You know what I got to say about that?
Oh, very
Um,
nice mug. I think I'll take a sip too.
mm,
Cheers, hooligans.
HooliganNation.com.
And then the second bit of news is Soundgarden. You know, I'm a big Chris Cornell fan. Soundgarden's Matt Cameron on final recordings with Chris Cornell. We're definitely halfway over or halfway done with it. There's no set release date yet, but they will start releasing singles once the album is 100% complete.
Oh, cool.
And that is my news.
My news. Not going to go crazy into this. I just thought this was hella newsworthy.
Okay.
Vince Neil, I haven't seen the entire interview yet. I haven't seen any of the interview yet. I've just heard about it. But Vince Neil supposedly did a interview where he let us all in on the fact that what was wrong with him was that he had a stroke in December of 2024.
Wow.
And it was not a little stroke, according to Vince. It was a big stroke. It affected his left side. It did not affect his voice.
I'm not going there.
I'm not either.
What about his memory? Like
Uh,
remembering songs?
No, but he literally says he started out in a wheelchair and he had to relearn to walk, and I know that that's pretty accurate, that can happen. And that he went from a wheelchair to a walker to a cane to, considering the stroke, he looks pretty good these days. So that's the reason why they had to postpone the residency, which the residency, I might as well slide right into this. The residency has started as of this recording on September 16th. We're recording. And I'm going to shock everybody that hasn't seen or heard this yet. Of course, there's video out there. And of course, it's on YouTube. And they sound good. They sound the best that they have sounded in years.
Really?
Let's hope it's not backing tracks. But yeah, it's on there. I think they've played one night of the residency. And they sounded really good.
Well, I'm a fan of Vince. I mean, back in metal's heavy metal heyday, I thought he was one of the coolest dudes. I mean, he always had chicks all around him, and I haven't liked what I've seen of him the last couple of years. With forgetting words to songs and looking out of shape and everything like that. So if he's healthy and he's doing well, I'm very happy because I've always been a fan of Mötley Crüe and Vince. So.
Yeah, I'm with you right there, except I can't knock the guy for being fat and old.
No, but I'm saying, listen, the reason I'm saying that, listen, I've been there. And I still battle it. But my point is that he went from being like one of the coolest looking rock stars. You got an image to uphold that it hasn't looked good.
No,
I want it personally. I want to think of the Vince back in the 80s.
Vince is part of that club, Club XS,
Right.
And there's many members of that club.
But hey, listen, it goes along the same lines of not wanting to see like bands like Kiss bald. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's along the same vein.
Yeah.
I want to see them the way that I grew up with them,
Father Rocco, have you ever seen JJ French's podcast?
Yes. It's been a while, but yes. He's like a producer too, right? Like he's more into like producing, I think now.
I mean,
I know he has a pocket, but he's like a businessman now.
I think JJ was always very much the business end of Twisted Sister, if I remember correctly.
What I seen, that was kind of like what I got from it. Like it was very, very business-like on his podcast.
Do you notice something about little JJ?
No.
You didn't notice that he might be considered follically challenged?
I saw it a while ago, so maybe he's lost hair since then.
Oh no, he's like a bald eagle these days.
Oh
He
wow, I didn't know that.
he could really be my brother and your cousin because you're 4 hairs away from being follically challenged.
Hey, listen, you can't stop Father Time.
But that brings me to this. Twisted Sister have announced that they will be reuniting for their 50th anniversary, minus Mark Mendoza, the only other living member of Twisted Sister, that will not be involved. And Dee's, it was an interview, shocker. Oh my God, it was an interview on Eddie Trunk's show.
Oh wow,
Oh
go figure.
my God, we promote and market Eddie Trunk's show more than we promote and market the Hooligan Nation, I feel like.
It'll be worthwhile once we get him on because we're gonna have him on at some point.
God, I hope so. I have so many questions for him. But they're gonna reunite minus Mark Mendoza in 2026, and Father Rocco. The bus will be leaving. Be on it or be under it, because I'm going to see them. D was asked by Eddie Trunk, are they going to go out there in jeans and t-shirt? Are they going to go out there in makeup and costumes? And his answer was it's going to be somewhere in between, but it's going to be more than jeans and t-shirt, which literally the first thing that popped in my head is, does JJ French put a wig on? Or is he going out there bald eagle?
He's putting a wig on.
I don't know.
If you got to bring back the look, you got to bring back majority of the look. I think he's putting a wig on.
It would be interesting because I don't know of any rock stars that wear a wig that have really widely been seen without that wig. Like, we talked a few episodes ago about Ace wearing a wig, but I've never seen, I saw what he looked like 10 years ago before the wig, and his hairline is completely different now, which gives it away. And of course, it's been rumored that Paul had plugs done and Gene had this done and blah, 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 blah. But there are no, as far as I know, there are no real pictures out there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're still in the public eye and you're known as a certain thing, I got to imagine it's got to be really hard. It's one thing if you're allowing yourself to like show that the hair's kind of going, you're getting shorter hair as you go, but all of a sudden, I think it'd be hard for your fan base to take. I know it's probably unfair, but
But
you
don't
almost
you think
you almost kind of owe it to your fans to put a wig on.
at the end of the day, I don't think it matters to me whether he wears one or not, but it is something of interest. Music we're listening to. What you got?
I got two.
Do you?
And this first band I just started listening to yesterday. The band's name is Spirit Box.
Okay.
There's songs Circle with Me, Sun Killer, Secret Garden. So far I like it. I like the vocal. There's got some moments where it's real heavy, and I like the vocal. It's really, really clean vocal. And then it's interesting. I'm still kind of like my take is still out with it, but a lot of the stuff that I've heard I like. And I forgot how good a guitarist Oz Fox was because I'm listening to Hell with the Devil, and like I'm on a Striper kick again now because
Good for you.
so much good stuff. I mean, if you didn't like Striper back in the day because you thought they were pushing their narrative too much, forget about that stuff and listen to the music because they created some really good music. But yeah, that's what I'm listening to. I mean, a lot of good stuff.
I got one for you. I got a little tidbit for you. You interested in it?
Yeah, hit me with the tidbit. Let's go. Rock and roll.
Do you know why Oz Fox is named Oz Fox?
No, and you know what? I've always wondered.
Well, I'm here to clear your wondering up. He took the nickname Oz because of Ozzy.
Really?
Yep. You know where I
Oh,
found that
that's
out?
cool. No, where?
I listened to an interview that Eddie Trunk did with Oz Fox.
Oh my God, our hooligans are getting like so sick of Eddie now. I'm only kidding. Hey, listen, we're trying to bring it with you for you, and unfortunately, Eddie's the one that gets a lot of the information.
Music I got.
Yeah, hit me. Go ahead.
I'm gonna hit you, all right. New Limp Bizkit. I don't know where the hooligans stand with Limp Bizkit, but I am a Limp Bizkit fan. And it's crazy. They put a new song out. The song's name is Making Love to Morgan Wallen. I guess he's a country star.
Okay.
And I can't say that I know much about him. I do like the song. It is very similar to other Limp Bizkit songs, but I do like the song. So I wanted to mention that. And the other one I have is a new single out from Dirty Honey. It is a Bad Company cover of the song Rock Steady, which I'm
I
not
like
a
that
big
tune.
not a big Bad Company fan. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm just not a big Bad Company fan, but I did like the Dirty Honey version of Rocksteady, and might as well do it again. And I heard on the Eddie Trunk show that there is an entire covers album of Bad Company covers that this song will be on, and that album will be out at some point. I don't know when. So if
Cool.
you're a Bad Company fan and you're a Kiss fan and you're watching the Hooligan Nation podcast, you have something to look forward to.
That's some good info. I like Bad Company.
Well, that's because you are Bad Company.
Well, thank you. I'll take it as a compliment.
Do you know what time it is?
It's got to be.
It's
gotta
gotta
be poll time.
be poll
All
time.
time.
Poll time.
We need some definite music for you to be dancing with that poll.
See, what you don't know is I edit in the music, so you can just do this kind of stuff. And hey, see how you go. Oh, wait, Limp Bizkit. Let's do a little. Oh. Anyhow, our weekly polls can be found on our community tab and on our Facebook group, the Hooligan Nation, a KISS-Centric podcast. If you're not a member, slide over to Facebook, find us, and join. You don't know what you're missing, and neither do I. This week's question is the Father Rocco question. Love Gun versus Dynasty. Which album is better? Now, Father Rocco, I know what your answer is. And we're not going to get into the Neil Peart, Vinnie Poncia versus Eddie Kramer thing. So I'm going to skip what I usually ask you.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask you, what do you think the hooligans think?
I think it's obvious. I mean, listen, I'm not even going to tell you guys. You know how I feel about Dynasty. They obviously picked Love Gun. It was one of the most popular albums. It was at their peak, so I don't think it's even close. But I know Dynasty's got my vote.
Would you venture to guess the percentages?
Yeah, it's probably something like I'd say Dynasty maybe got like 15%.
You know, I would have agreed with you if I didn't sit here and do my monkey math and compile it. I was shocked.
Really?
I was shocked. I'm shocked at the Hooligan Nation. Not a bad shock. I'm doing that Bill Clinton thing, by the way, again, and I have to break myself for that. I don't know how to. No. Anyhow, I'm Italian, folks. It's not my fault. But this, I don't know where this comes from. I got a magical remote in my hand, so I'm just changing channels. Anyway, I digress. Can you spell that?
Digres. Digress. Yeah. Not for nothing. I won a spelling bee in fourth grade, but I don't know if I got that right.
It amazes me, and you say this all the time. This is what is great about KISS, and this is what's great about the KISS Army. I said on camera when we did Dynasty versus Love Gun that you would be the only person
Yeah.
that chose Dynasty over Love Gun, and I humbly apologize for saying that because I'm way off. Don't get too happy. Don't get too happy. Dynasty lost, and it lost by a lot. But the numbers were a little shocking to me. Dynasty came in with 36% of the vote, and Love Gun came in with 64%. I really expected 99% to 1%, and I expected you to be the 1%. I did. And,
Well,
and
the ones that voted for Dynasty, all right.
And look, I think I think that goes towards the narrative that we try to push almost weekly, which is, hey, instead of beating this band up for changing their sound a lot, when you change your sound, some people like the crazy sound change. Today is officially the 40th anniversary of the release of KISS Asylum. And I posted something in the community today, and Brad Baird, one of our very active hooligans, he made a comment on the post. I turned 16 when Asylum was out. It was my driving cassette. I know a lot of fans don't like it, but it and Animalize takes me back to a time when I needed the band.
Nice.
I think that is cool as hell.
That's awesome.
And
awesome.
that is what I think we... What was that?
A nugget.
A nugget?
Mm-hmm.
A chicken McNugget?
Nope. Pretzel nugget.
A pretzel nugget. Is that a combo?
No, it's not a combo. Same shape, but not. No.
There's nothing in the middle?
No.
Oh, forget that. That doesn't even deserve my attention. If you're going to have pretzel nuggets, they got to be combos, and there's got to be something in the middle. Anyhow, don't choke on that. They're very dry. And I know in your senior citizenhood of 55, you could choke on small objects at this point. And whatever you do, do not break a tooth. You might want to
I appreciate the concern.
You might want to dip that pretzel nugget into water to soften it up before you put it in your mouth and break a tooth, and we have another.
Dude, I am still waiting for the thing that comes out where you can actually get rid of all your teeth and go somewhere for like $49.99 and replace them all.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you would have to get like.
It's not gonna happen. Yeah,
just get a whole box of
chiclets.
Chiclets.
There you go.
And just stick the chiclets up there. Or I'm sure, there's something. I'm going to contact Lego and have them make a Lego teeth set just for you.
Hey, back to our hooligan. That what was his name again?
Brad Baird. He is a very active member of the Hooligan Nation. I appreciate the hell out of you, Brad. He
testify, hooligan.
Posts all the time. He posts a lot in our community. It's interaction, which you and I both know that's really the main reason why we started to do this, was to get the interaction in the community part of it. And guys like Brad are great. We don't always agree on everything, but we can debate it and act like adults. And in Brad's case, I think I agree with a lot of what he says and what he posts. He's a real positive guy. He usually doesn't beat anything up, but I think it's a great thing that, and you've said this over and over again, that KISS has something for everyone.
Absolutely.
And that's part of the proof of that.
Yeah, and you know what? The interaction, like I said, we're never overstating that. Like when you say something about your history with the band, something that you put in the comments that makes you think of a concert you went to, maybe a moment where you're just listening to a song in the house and it was something that got you through a rough moment, or you're out cruising on a Saturday with a bunch of friends and stuff. Like those are the things you put in the comments. Like that's part of us. That's our Hooligan Nation. That's part of what we're all about.
Were you out cruising in your 5.0? The rag top down?
I had something better.
Low.
I had
on standby waiting for you to say hi. Did you stop? No. I just drove by. Kept on.
All right,
Moving
Vanilla.
to the next block.
You go, Vanilla.
Please
But
don't
I had something better than the
unsubscribe.
5.0. I had the 73 Chevy Caprice convertible.
Hooligans, please don't unsubscribe because I just did that. Thank you. I promise I won't do that again for at least another 3 months.
Guys, it's his version of Tourette's. It's all good.
Yep. Now you're gonna alien. Last week you alienated all of our female members. Now you're gonna alienate all of our members with Tourette syndrome.
Again,
What is
this
wrong with
I'm
you?
just don't take it seriously. This is
Oh
for
my
I'm just
God.
trying to give some good wholesome entertainment.
You are so politically incorrect. I'm so disappointed in you.
Me?
I would never say anything like that.
Wow. Yes, you would.
You're right, I would. Battleborn is a collaborative effort among like-minded individuals and organizations intent on repairing and restoring people who have served our country. We do this by delivering a unique level of support and guidance to those servicemen and women who have emotional and psychological wounds. We provide support directly and indirectly in collaboration with others in our community who value those who have served this nation and its communities. For more information, go to wearebattleborn.com. Finally. Oh my God. So first and foremost, before we get into this, I'd like to apologize to the Hooligan Nation. It is 100% my fault. For some reason, in my demented mind, I thought we were going to be able to get through the entire decade of the 80s in one podcast. I wasn't only wrong, but I was wrong times two, because this is part 3 of Big Hair, Bigger Hits, the ultimate 80s hard rock, heavy metal retrospective. Once again, I apologize, and I will try to do better in the future, but it's not looking good. I probably won't do any better. So we left off. Where'd we leave off? We left off in 1987. We concluded 1987, which means that for this episode, we're going to start at the beginning of 1988, just like Father Rocco always likes.
That's the year I graduated.
Is it?
Yes.
What was that, like your third attempt?
No, I made it on the first one.
Good for you. So let's start with, that little band from New Jersey. You know that band, Bon Jovi, whose world blew up with Bon Jovi, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
And they just, is it too much to say they redefined the entire decade? Is that too much?
They were definitely the what do they call it? The bearers, the cross bearers. Like they were the ones that carried that era, I think, a lot, At least when it comes to like MTV and just, I mean, yeah, Bon Jovi was a huge band then.
Do you think that it's legitimate to call them the top of that? I'm trying not to say hair metal because I'll get yelled at for it.
Well,
But
if you look at all the albums out that year, like I think we're going to get to it. It's not my favorite album that came out that year, but I think it's hard to say. It's hard to like dispute. New Jersey probably did more sales than any of the other albums.
whoa, you all right?
Yeah, I had a
Did you
little.
get a wrestling match with your tongue,
No, it's kind of. I had a burp and I was
or
talking.
did your Lego teeth get in the way?
Be careful. Be careful.
Just kidding. Just kidding. I'm gonna guess that was the best-selling album in hard rock, heavy metal of 1988. I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that.
I think a big part of it, and we talked about this before. I think a big part of Bon Jovi's success is they were really good songwriters. Like they had messaging. Their messaging was great, and they had very melodic music to go with it. Again, at that era, I was not admitting that I even liked Bon Jovi, but I did.
And it is, and you'll agree with this. It is 100% my personality that I am more of a Richie Sambora fan than I am a John Bon Jovi fan. I don't know why. I always like the ones that are considered the evil ones, or the ones that screw shit up all the time. I don't know why. But you have to give John Bon Jovi credit. He, I don't believe, you know what? I don't believe still to this day he's ever made a wrong move. And I'm sure you can give Doc McGee a lot of credit for that,
Sure.
especially then. But everything John Bon Jovi touched, he touched the right way. Next up, Ozzy Osbourne, No Rest for the Wicked. If, and it's a big if I'm correct, this is the entrance of Zakk Wylde. It was a beautiful, glorious entrance, especially for the song co-written by Ozzy, Zakk Wylde, and Bob Daisley, "Miracle Man." I think it's one of
God
Ozzy's.
busted.
I think it's one of Ozzy's best songs,
I love it. That album's a good album.
and Ozzy was coming out of the glam metal.
I don't know if that was that big a successful album, but I remember listening to the album like crazy. I like almost all the entire album.
No, it went 2 times platinum.
Wow.
So I would say it was it reached number 13 on the US Billboard 200.
Okay. I stand corrected, but I mean I listened to it like crazy. I love that album.
Yeah, it's a good album. Miracle Man is a special song on that album, if you ask me.
Yeah. And it's another great choice, Ozzy, bringing in another great guitar player.
Yeah. I still think I will always think Ozzy's greatest talent was surrounding himself by
Personnel.
talent.
Absolutely.
You know. Next up, Guns N' Roses, GNR Lies. I mean, like, what can you say about this that hasn't been said already? I think it blew all legitimate Guns N' Roses fans when this came out because it was a completely different sounding record than what was Appetite for Destruction. There was only one single, and that's for the song Patience.
Yeah, I used to isn't the song on there? I used to love her, but I had to kill her on there too, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. And you know, there's a song on here. Am I right? No, no, I guess I'm not right. I
But it's
wonder.
definitely a different kind of record than they came out with Appetite.
Oh yeah, and it has, you know, Move to the City, Mamakin, which was a Aerosmith cover. Patience, Used to Love Her, You're Crazy. I mean, just a killer album, but completely different sound. And by the way, that went 5 times platinum. Next up, one of my favorites, Kicks, Blow My Fuse.
Good album. A lot of good songs on that album, though. I remember I had that album.
So, what's the big? Oh, Don't Close Your Eyes.
Great song.
That's you know, that's a sign of the times right there,
Power
because
ballad.
there's your power ballad. And there's Blow My Fuse and Cold Blood.
Maybe Cold Blood is the one they all fall down thinking. Anyway. Yeah.
Really great. Steve Whiteman, you know, I look, I'm not a huge Kicks fan, but I do like some of their music, and I never knew who their lead singer was, but Steve Whiteman, who's their lead singer, a great voice.
Unique.
Great voice to me. I don't know, it just
No, great voice, and also different than a lot of the singers that were out then.
yeah. Yeah, there was none of that high pitched screaming from him that at least that I can remember. He had that deep, gravelly voice.
It was definitely is a unique sound.
Here's another one. This is a big one because to me, this was a band that really should have been big and wasn't and never really got big. And that is the band Hurricane.
Mm. I think they were big in Europe. I think they were more of like from what I remember.
Hurricane, they had really what could be considered one big hit, and that was I'm on to you. Na 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 na. Which I love that song. I love that song. Kelly Hansen went on to be the front man of Foreigner for well over 20 years, I believe. So
Wow.
he came out of that doing pretty good. Oh, they got a song that you could sing to all your ex-girlfriends on here also. Give Me an Inch.
Yeah, you're funny.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
funny.
you. Thank you. I'll be here all week.
He'll be here all week, folks.
Next up, oh my God, do you have a seatbelt on your chair?
Yeah, but I broke it last week.
Well, you're going to fall off your chair right now. Lita Ford, the Lita album.
Mm. What was there any of us that wasn't into Lita back then? I don't think so.
Maybe if you were blind.
Hot chick, awesome
Oh.
guitar player. I mean, come on.
I mean, Back to the Cave, Kiss Me Deadly. Oh my God.
Boy, that
My
brings back
God.
memories.
Close My Eyes Forever with Ozzy.
Ozzy.
Oh my God. Look, that Kiss Me Deadly video. I can remember staying up late at night just so I could watch it one more time. Next up, Living Color, Vivid, a breakthrough hard rock, funk metal album, and truly is.
Great album.
Yes. Peaked at number 6 on the Billboard 200 and was certified double platinum in the US. Great album. Definitely not any kind of glam metal, hair metal, anything like that. They were different.
What I like is it's almost, I'm going to say it's kind of like the Guns N' Roses effect. They came into a genre and were labeled at that genre, but it said, step aside, we got our own sound.
Yeah, you know, it's funny when you look at and one of the purposes of this of us venturing into this decade is yes, that word hair metal, yes, it creeped in, but boy, it kind of creeped out quick. It was the bands that weren't defined by that didn't really stay there. Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Ozzy Osbourne, you know, for that matter, Kiss. You know, by the time Revenge comes around, that's completely out of their system. Shit. By the time Hot in the Shade comes out, that's completely out of their system. And Hurricane was not a hair metal band, and definitely Living Color wasn't. Iron Maiden's Seventh Son of the Seventh Son, which sounds 100% different than Somewhere in Time did. Like they dipped in, said, "Hey, we got to try it. We're gonna do it once," and then they dipped right out and said, "You know, maybe this isn't for us." Look, I'm thankful that they all dipped in there because I think we got good albums from bands that really weren't in that genre. And we talked about that last episode. Iron Maiden, Somewhere in Time, Ozzy Osbourne, The Ultimate Sin, Judas Priest, Turbo. There's 3 great albums. You cannot find
And 3 heavily scrutinized albums from the core of those fan bases in a lot of ways too.
absolutely.
I don't argue against them.
Absolutely.
I love those albums.
I love them too. I'm thankful, but I also am smart enough. See, I am smart. I'm also smart enough to know that there is not one album in any of those artists' catalog that sounds anything like Somewhere in Time, Turbo, and The Ultimate Sin. They're complete one-off albums. At least in Kiss's case, you could probably argue that Asylum, they were going towards it. I still think they had the visual look, but the music wasn't glam hair. Wasn't overproduced. It wasn't all of that. their real venture into that genre was Crazy Nights to me, and then they jumped out. Oh, next up, this one's all you, so I'm just gonna announce it, and then I'm gonna go take a run around the block. Okay.
Okay.
Queensryche, Operation Mindcrime. Have at it.
One of my favorite bands all time. One of my favorite albums all time. This album is a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece production wise. It's a masterpiece storyline wise. Um, I mean, this was such a good band that I don't think in a lot of ways got acclaim because they definitely had their own sound that stood out differently than a lot and some turned some people off, I think. But to me, they were the epitome of a solid band. They had a great drummer who never got the credit he deserved, in my opinion. They were really great musicians. Um, I can't say enough about this album. It's one of my favorite. It's not only one of my favorite albums of the '80s. It's one of my favorite albums all time.
You know, I'm not a big, huge Queensryche
I
fan.
know I'm dragging you to see Jeff Tate in a month.
You know, it'll be interesting if I become a bigger fan after seeing Jeff Tate. The one thing that I will give them, because as much of the fact that I'm not a huge Queensryche fan, I'm still not a complete idiot, and I do have musical respect for what they did. That was a concept record, was it not?
Yo, totally. It totally was.
Am I crazy for saying that as far as hard rock and heavy metal goes, it's a top 3 or 5 concept record?
And I mean, in my opinion, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Next up is a record that I know very little about, so hopefully you'll know something about it.
okay.
AC/DC Blow Up Your Video. I don't know whether I was just busy in 1988 or what, but I don't know much about it, and I'm looking at the stats.
I
It
don't
was
either.
it was platinum in the United States. It hit number 12 in the US Billboard 200.
What are the singles off of that?
Heat Seeker and That's the Way I Want to Rock and Roll.
Heat Seeker sounds familiar, but yeah, I don't recall it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to BS the Hooligans. I really didn't.
Yeah,
I
I'm
really
not
didn't.
either. I don't know much about it. So that
Hooligans, if you're listening to this, if you're still hanging with us and you know more about it, put it in the comments. We'd like some more information on it.
yeah, let us know if it's a good album because well, I'll venture over there within the next couple days to see because I'm intrigued by it.
Hmm.
Next up, Anthrax, State of Euphoria.
I listened to it a lot. Um, it's it's different. It's a little different than album of Anthrax. There's not too many songs that I can honestly tell you the names of. I remember liking a lot of it, but nothing that really was sustained. You know what I mean? Like honestly, if I had to compare it to something, remember how I told you like I don't hate Unmasked. I like Unmasked, but it's not something that stays with you. To me, Euphoria is that kind of album. Like it's not an Anthrax album where a lot of songs stood out to me. If there's if there's hooligans out there that it's like something that is really close to their heart and they got songs that they could just that you can say definitely put out there. It's not an album that I can say that I didn't listen to. I listened to a lot of it, but it wasn't something where I would take a song like right now I can tell you a song or two that I would put on a playlist. Not really. Nondescript maybe is the kind of thing I would say. Good music, but nothing that I take that wants me to take home with me.
So it went gold in the United States. It reached number 30 in the US Billboard 200. And I can honestly tell you my favorite song off of this is Antisocial.
Good song.
It had 2 singles, Make Me Laugh and Antisocial. And I will tell the truth and say, I don't remember Make Me Laugh at all.
I remember it a little bit, but you know what? To me, that was at an era and time where I was listening to Metallica a lot still, and I liked it, I think, just for the heaviness of it and the aggressiveness of it. But I don't think it was something that was like very memorable.
I love it when you slide me a great segue. You know that?
All right.
That's really what makes you Ed McMahon. That's really what makes you the Ed
You sure
McMahon.
it's Ed? It's not Jim.
No, it's I think he played quarterback for the
He played for
Chicago
the
Bears.
Bears. That's right. That's right.
Ooh, yes. If anybody's wondering, no, I did not get him checked for head
He
injuries
did a
yet.
song though, didn't he do a
Working on it.
song?
Jim McMahon, he did. He was the punky QB.
Super Bowl Shuffle.
Yeah, he was the punky QB from the Super Bowl Shuffle.
And we are in the weeds.
Yes, we are. Way in the weeds. Anyway, next one, Metallica, "And Justice for All." Oh, what you
I
got to say about that,
A
Father
lot, a
Rocco?
lot. I went to Monsters of Rock concert. I've said it before in this, and Metallica came out. The thing that was cool about this, it was at Giant Stadium, and the press leading up to this, the album was coming out, and there was going to be a song that they were going to preview live at the concert what nobody had heard before, and it was Harvester of Sorrow. And I just remember being so excited and listening to that, thinking that that was the best song. And we had horrible seats. Like we were way up and we had a speaker blocking us. It was brutal. But the concert itself was great. But I remember loving, and I still love Harvester of Sorrow. The only thing I will tell you about Injustice for All, and it's not a secret, they went a little bit too far. They went too long with songs. They tried to do too much. There's not a bad song on the album, in my opinion. I like every song on the album. One is on there. Harvester of Sorrow is on there.
And it's
Short
not the drums.
Shortest Straw is on there too, right?
It
Shortest Straw.
was it was the lack of bass.
Okay, but Shortest Straw I think is another really really good song on there too.
Yes.
I like the whole album. The whole album is really good. And it's one of those albums where Metallica kind of gave you a different flavor, right?
Yes.
Metallica's done that a little bit too at times.
Yes.
The magnetic thing too. So it's not an album that I don't like. I like the album, but I think this they went. I think the average time frame on each song was like 6 minutes.
Yeah, it's long. 6:42, 9:46, 6:25, 7:26, 6:35, 5:45, 7:43, 9:49, 5:14.
Right. And I
So
mean, and you've heard me complain so many times about songs being too long. Like get in, get out, make it good, get in, make it good, and get out.
see, I have a different opinion. If the song is good, for instance, one is 7 minutes and 26 seconds. Blackened is 6:42, and Justice for All is 9:46. Shit, you can do that for 15 minutes.
But we're talking about complete albums. It is a complete album. There's not a bad song on there.
No, it is a complete album. No, there isn't a bad song on there. Yes, does have sonic issues in that they turn the bass pretty much completely off. It did reach number 6 in the U.S. Billboard 200, which just think about that. Like that is mind blowing for what kind of music they were playing. And it was 8 times platinum in the United States. Next up, Megadeth. So far, so good. So what?
You know what I really like about this album?
What's that?
The vocals. Dave Mustaine doesn't get the credit vocally.
Huh?
I'm totally joking. If you listen to the last couple episodes, that's what I don't like about Megadeth. I'm just totally joking here.
Oh.
I was kind of like,
Oh.
went a little crazy. I I owned the album. I listened to it a little bit, but it's not something I really listen to a lot. I was just joking before.
Now, this is not my favorite Megadeth album, but there is I liked the cover version, and I'm on record as saying that I don't like cover versions usually. Well, I like the cover version of Anarchy in the UK, which is a Sex Pistols cover.
Mhm.
And In My Darkest Hour, I think, is a great Megadeth song. And I think that Mustaine and Ellefson, even though they can't get along, them together, in my opinion, they made magic. Unfortunately for Dave Mustaine, the magic wasn't as magical as Metallica.
But you know what? Like I'll never knock the guitaring in Megadeth. The guitaring in Megadeth is is great. I just don't, like I said, vocally it's a Megadeth, so it kind of always turned me off a little bit.
Next up, this one's all you, okay, Father Rocco?
Okay.
Slayer, South of Heaven.
It's a good album. I mean, listen, with Slayer, I go to the same thing with Megadeth. Like, I like a lot of the guitaring of Slayer. I really don't like the whole satanic crap. I've never dug that. It's kind of always maybe wanted to shy away from them. But musician wise, and as a guitar player, like appreciating what they're mute them musically, like if no singing is done, and I'm just listening to instrumental music, I can listen to Slayer, not just South of Heaven, Rain and Blood. Like they are great musicians. I'm never gonna take that away from them. But there was always something that kind of like turned me off. I don't really care for the vocals again. Vocals really go a long way with me of making me like hook me in or hook me out.
Oh, I got so much here. I got so much here. Don't you think that the whole satanic thing was shtick?
I don't care though.
The reason why I don't pay any attention to that is because, well, Black Sabbath did it. Mötley Crüe did it.
Right.
It's shtick.
I just don't want to support that.
Next up, Cinderella, Long Cold Winter. Another band that I don't understand. Somehow they got grouped in to a genre that they never really belonged in.
Mm.
This is not a quote unquote hair metal band.
No, they're a blues metal band.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a great album. Bad Seamstress Blues, Gypsy Road, Don't Know What You Got
Oh,
Till It's
Gypsy
Gone.
Rose. I missed that song. That was a great song.
Yeah, I mean,
My
Coming
Gypsy
Home.
Rose, gonna take you home.
This was an incredibly well-rounded hard rock band that somehow got lumped into a genre that I just don't believe they ever belonged in.
And also ran into a lot of bad luck with a lot of tragedy.
Well, yeah, I mean they had band members that had issues. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, and now we're gonna alienate half of the Hooligan Nation. And I guarantee we're gonna alienate half of the Hooligan Nation. Van Halen OU812. Would you like to speak, or would you like me to throw myself on the 25 swords that I'm about to throw myself on?
I'll give you just something quick. I'm on record saying that, Sammy Hagar is probably one of my favorite rock stars all time. I like that he had that show. I like all the music that he did with Van Halen. I don't dismiss what David Lee Roth did. I like both eras, but I know I'm being politically correct here. But I think I don't hear a lot of people say a lot about OU 812. Everything's 5150. I think OU 812 is a really good album.
Well, first off, I think 5150 is quite possibly a once in a lifetime album. I do think that the overproduction is probably what pisses off most hardcore David Lee Roth Van Halen fans. Me, I guess I like that sound most of the time. OU812 again is in the same realm as Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Ozzy Osbourne. Like it is OU812 is not like 5150.
Not at all.
And I would not call what I would call 5150 is experimental. I would call it maybe overproduced, where OU812 really went to Sammy's wheelhouse. Sammy sings the power ballad.
Bounce too.
Yeah, Balance too. Also,
or Balance.
yeah.
Sorry, Balance.
Yeah. Um, but songs like When It's Love, I mean, I challenge you. Like, that's a great, great, great Van Halen song.
That David Lee Roth would never sniff.
I couldn't touch it. And that's just getting started on this record. There's Finish What You Started, which is a great kind of funky sounding song. Cabo Wabo, Mine All Mine, which is kind of a rocker. Feel So Good, Black and Blue. Like, this is a great, great album that Sammy, it seems, was allowed to not take over, but was allowed to steer more towards what his interests were.
Well, and I think at the time, I also believe that Eddie enjoyed. I think Eddie allowed David Lee Roth to dictate a lot, and I think when it came to Sammy being there, I think Eddie enjoyed the freedom to create with keyboards and other things. He was able to embrace being more of a full-blooded musician and not just the guitar god.
And I don't know about you, but I think that part of that was Sammy encouraged that, I think. And it sure as hell didn't hurt the band. OU812 went 4 times platinum and was number 1 on the US Billboard 200. So, the numbers, I tell you all the time, numbers do not lie. Next up, this happens literally by luck, but it's now happened twice. David Lee Roth, Skyscraper. So much talent, so much potential. I just don't know where he went wrong. I really don't. I just think his shtick got way too much for people.
I think he cared more about being the entertainer and being front and center and being the center of attention than the overall projects most of the time. Again, you go back to the very first, first 3, 4 Van Halen albums, it's hard to dispute anything there. I mean, but at the same time, to me, those albums stood because Eddie was who he was and he was raw and you were hearing guitar licks that you'd never heard before. I mean, he was inventing, even though David Lee Roth was the front man. I mean, the one thing I always give David Lee Roth credit for is you have a look of a band, right? So you got Eddie as your guitar god, and then you got David Lee Roth with the I call it the Robert Plant, right? The prototypical frontman, court gesture, whatever you want to call it. David Lee Roth fit that role perfectly, and that's something I'll never dispute from him.
I won't either. Absolutely, a little over the top for me, but absolutely was a great.
But he viewed that as
frontman.
he always viewed that as that's the gig.
Right. And that is why to this day, if you gave me the choice, David Lee Roth or Sammy Hagar, I'm picking Sammy Hagar, and I'm simply doing that because Sammy can sing everything that David Lee Roth can sing, and David Lee Roth can't sing anything that Sammy can sing. Poison, open up and say, ah.
Poison made a lot of good music in the 80s. I mean, whether it's not, like not the most musically challenged in some people's opinion, they made good songs. There's a lot of good songs that Poison made.
Look, it wasn't cool in 1988 for any of us to be Poison fans. This Open Up and Say Ah was a great follow-up. It's arguably better than
Give me something to believe in. Is that on that album?
Yep. Nothing But a Good Time, Fallen Angel, Every Rose Has Its Thorn, Your Mama Don't Dance, which I hate. I hate that song.
They do it well though.
But it was still a very popular song. And let's look at number 2 on the US Billboard 200, 5 times platinum. Not only 5 times platinum in the United States, but it was gold in the United Kingdom, platinum in New Zealand, 4 times platinum in Canada, and 3 times platinum in Australia. And look, the people spoke.
Underrated song, Give Me Something to Believe in. It's a great lyrically, great messaging, great song.
To me, the best song on this entire album is Fallen Angel.
Fallen Angel is great too. But I mean, if you
For
listen
me.
to if you're like, it's a military song, Give Me Something to Believe in. But it's a really touching story, that song.
Well, Poison altogether are very, very patriotic band. Next up, Stryper, In God We Trust. I don't care what the band is singing about. If it sounds good, it's good to me. And that's really all I'm worried about.
To me, they this is going to sound really crazy, but every album I've ever listened to a Striper, you can see the completeness of what they do. Like almost every song, you can see there's effort in every song. You know, you can see sometimes you can tell when a band's just throwing some tracks on there just to finish up an album.
Yeah,
I don't think Striper ever did that. And everything I've ever heard of Striper, you can see effort put in every song. Every song. Maybe it's just the way that I take it, and maybe I'm delusional, but to me, they're a very thorough band.
I do believe you are a little delusional, but that's part of
All right, am
your
I delusional in this particular take that I have here?
No, I think generally you're delusional sometimes, but no, in this take, no, I don't think you're delusional.
Is that a
But
compliment?
it is, but you got to remember you have 36 other personalities, and some of them are definitely
It
delusional.
makes me versatile.
Oh, you're like a Swiss Army knife of personalities. That's the end of 1988. Let's jump into 1989 and let's start off with what I think is probably the year slayer of 1989, and that is Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood. Their most commercially successful studio album sold over 6 million copies in the US. Their only album to top the Billboard 200 chart. Not my favorite Motley Crue album, but it is probably musically their best album ever. And you just cannot dismiss the songs on this album and all the work that they did to elevate themselves musically from where they started. And that is very much the history of Motley Crue from 81 until 89 is every album advanced them musically, in my opinion. I mean, Dr. Feelgood, Kickstart My Heart, Without You, Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away, Same Old Situation, all on the same album. All on the same album. They're all hits. They're all great hits. Just unfortunately, like everybody else, they kind of unraveled. And they unraveled due to excess. But man, they were on top of the world. And to me, that's the best album of the year.
I like it. I think, like you said, a lot of hits on the album. It's not my top Motley Crue album, but a lot of great hits on the album.
Yeah, I don't think it's my top Motley Crue album, but I do think it is the best sounding Motley Crue album, Bob Rock. I think it's probably their best written album. It is definitely their best produced album. Musically, I think they were at the top of their game and they could go anywhere you wanted to go. You go from Kickstart My Heart to Without You to Don't Go Away Mad, Just Go Away. I mean, there is 3 distinct sounds on one album. And now we got to look, this is the solid number 2 in my opinion. For the year 1989, Skid Row's debut. I mean, Peaked at number 6 on the Billboard 200 and was certified 5 times platinum in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, and you got probably one of the best rock and roll singers of all time.
If they didn't implode, oh my God. But Big Gun, Sweet Little Sister, Can't Stand the Heartache, Piece of Me, 18 in Life, Rattlesnake Shake, Youth Gone Wild, Here I Am, Making a Mess, and who could forget, I Remember You. The best song to me on this record is probably Youth Gone Wild, which it was released as a single.
Well, that was their coming out party right there, that song.
Yeah, but 18 in Life and I Remember You, I'm guessing, sold 10 times the amount that one sold. And I think that's the best song on the record. And I'm not taking anything away from 18 in Life or I Remember You. I mean, next, Alice Cooper Trash. A glam metal comeback marked by the hit Poison. I don't know if I agree with that. Sold over 2 million copies, peaking in the top 20 in multiple countries. Poison is a great song. House of Fire is a great song. Bed of Nails is a great song. Little tidbit, Hugh McDonald from Bon Jovi plays bass on this album. Additional personnel: Steven Tyler, John Bon Jovi, Kip Winger, Joe Perry, Richie Sambora, Steve Lukather, Kane Roberts, Tom Hamilton, Joey Kramer. Wow, talk about gotta have.
That's the power of Alice Cooper.
You gotta have some kind of juice.
Oh yeah.
To pull that. Do you know who the producer of this album is?
No clue.
When I tell you who the producer of this album is, nope. You're in the neighborhood, though. When I tell you who the producer of this album is, and I didn't know this,
Bruce Fairbairn?
Nope. Desmond Child.
Oh, okay. All right.
Also co-wrote
the legend of Desmond Child.
And I believe he co-writes every song on this album. I think Trash is a great album, but I like Alice, and I like all the different sounds of Alice. Next up, Aerosmith Pump.
Good album.
Good album.
Yeah.
Not a great album in my opinion, but a good album.
They were really big time commercial at that point. They were not the raw Aerosmith from back in the day. They were definitely going after hits. And
yeah, they were refined. Shockingly enough, produced by Bruce Fairbairn. Not much of a shocker. Love in an Elevator, Janie's Got a Gun, probably. The Other Side. I think The Other Side's a great song, actually, but those are the singles, and
it's a good album. Like from what I remember, it's not an album that you like turn off. Like you let it play because it's got good grooves. Most of the songs on that album are good grooves.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And obviously 7 million other people agreed because it went 7 times platinum in the United States and hit number 5 in the U.S. Billboard 200. This was the pinnacle of their comeback, I think.
They were another one that benefited big time from MTV, too.
I was just going to say that. Yes, they did. They did play the music video game very well. Next is probably one of my... It's probably one of my least favorite Wasp albums, and that's the Headless Children. This was definitely a sound change for Wasp. Definitely beginning of the end.
What's the single on that?
They're really so Mean Man, The Real Me, and Forever Free.
The Real Me. Okay.
Definite sound change. Again, I mean, they like to change their sound quite a bit also. This has got an interesting bunch of people as additional musicians. Lita Ford, Minka Kelly. Do you know who Minka Kelly is?
She's a talk show host.
No, well, she might be now, but she was an actress.
I definitely know that name.
If that's the same Minka Kelly, that's kind of crazy. 48 on the US Billboard 200 and went gold in the United Kingdom. So didn't reach gold status in the United States. Who knows if they've reached it by now. Like I said, not my favorite album. It's not my favorite sound out of Wasp, but it is Wasp, so I put it in there. And next up, Ace Frehley, Trouble Walking. And this is something that I could discuss for days and days and days. And I really can discuss it because album number 1 of Frehley's Comet is an incredible album, in my opinion. Not as good as his 78 solo album, but it's damn close. And then you have Second Sighting. The problem with Second Sighting is, well, the Second Sighting was everybody looking for Ace, who was really nowhere to be found. And, the whole Frehley's Comet thing started to go sideways. Megaforce Records, just things started to go sideways for Ace, and he changed things up. And out comes Trouble Walking, which is really, really a great, great underrated album. Great music. He made personnel changes. Todd Howarth left the band. He brought Richie Scarlett in. Anybody that knows Ace Frehley knows that with Richie in the band, it was a harder, more edgier sound. With Todd Howarth in the band, it was a cleaner, crisper, more pop-oriented sound. And it's a great Shot Full of Rock, Do Ya, 5-Card Stud, Hide Your Heart. And, funny enough, please don't kill me, Ace fans. I don't know why this is, but I think my favorite song off of this album is a song that Ace doesn't sing. That song, Too Young to Die, that Richie Scarlett plays lead vocals on, is an incredible song to me. I love that song. I can't get enough of it. It was just too late. It was too late. It reached 102 on the Billboard 200, and he had a small window. He opened the window up with the original Frehley's Comet. And unfortunately, I think he alienated a lot of the fan base with Second Sighting. And that's 100% his fault for not being present. And we finished the decade up with everybody's favorite Kiss album, Hot in the Shade. Take it, Father Rocco. Go ahead. See what nice things you can say about that.
Well, I do believe Forever's on that album. So I'm just going to hug that song and call it a day.
Hug it tight.
It's one of my favorite
Hug
all-time
it
Kiss
tight.
songs. It'll definitely be an open mic song for me. There's a lot of listen, we've covered Hot in the Shade. We've talked about Hot in the Shade an awful lot. If they cut out 6 songs on that album, it's a different album. There's too many left. To me, it's like you have dinner and there's a bunch of leftovers, and you just throw a bunch of those leftovers and you throw them we throw them in a bowl and you try to eat them all. And there's some good songs, but there's some really bad songs.
Yeah, I think Rise to It is a great song.
Yeah.
Hide Your Heart is a good song. Forever is a great song. But then there's Read My Body. No?
No, not having it.
I didn't think so. 15 songs
I'm listen,
on this album.
It's no secret how big an Eric Carr fan I am. I don't even like Little Caesar.
No, I don't like Little Caesar either.
I remember at the time, I was very disappointed in that, and I was expecting so much, and I don't know what happened there.
I can tell you one thing that happened there. Produced by Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley.
They need an outside source.
Yep. Now let's see. I don't know if we did this when we did the album review. Hit number 29 on the US Billboard 200 and reached gold status in the United States. And you know what? Good for them. Good for them. Because I don't think you could get 500,000 people to buy that today, even if there was no streaming.
No, and you said something that at the time when we covered the album, that at least Kiss had the foresight to realize that they didn't do well on the album. They made a lot of mistakes and bad decisions on that album, but they brought it on tour.
Yeah, they definitely brought it on tour. And not only did they bring it on tour, but you know what comes next? Revenge.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And what comes from that, and this is something, they were a factory until that album. That album came out in 89, and I believe Revenge doesn't come out till 92. They took the break. They started writing. They gave themselves time to write really good material, because I think there's really good material on Revenge. Then what do?
You're not wrong.
Let's pick the phone up. Hello, Bob Ezrin. Yeah, we don't do this well without you. and it's funny because they could have picked the phone up and called Ezrin. They could have called Eddie Kramer. They probably should have called Michael James Jackson. They might have done better with Vinnie Poncia, but probably not. But they might have, because they don't. I think some bands can produce themselves, and some bands have too much ego to produce themselves, and I think Kiss is probably one of those bands.
I mean, if you take yourself and you put yourself in that situation, to me, I think I would always want an outside source.
I think what happens to some bands, and understandably so, is they think to themselves, who knows us better than we know us? And I think in some cases that's very true. But that's why when you go back to a Bob Ezrin, especially after the last produced album from Bob Ezrin was Music from the Elder, that, Bob Ezrin wants to fix his reputation with Kiss fans. That's a good thing. And then Kiss is coming from Hot and Shade, and they knew it was a hot mess. I mean, they knew it. They had to know it. It's a bunch of demos that they never re-recorded because they were trying to save money. But that does end our marathon of the 80s decade. And let me tell you, I love the 80s. I loved going through this list to see where the music changed. And then we saw a lot of times where the music changed back, because you can say what you want about Hot in the Shade, and I got a lot to say about it, but it was not overproduced. It was not a hair metal album. It was not a glam metal album. It was not any of that. It was a Kiss hard rock album that unfortunately was warmed up, microwaved garbage, most of it. But
there was a diamond in the rough, though, as far as for the with Forever, as far as
there's a couple of them, as far as I'm concerned.
Rise to It's a good song too. Yeah, absolutely.
There just wasn't enough of it.
Right.
That's all. But this was a lot of fun. But it was a marathon, and I'll never try to do another decade.
Ooh, give me a second. I have this TV going. Can I turn the TV off? I got two TVs going. I got Weird Science I got to turn off, and War Games. Just got to cap off the 80s.
Yeah, as soon as we get off here tonight, I'm going to go play with my Rubik's Cube.
There you go. Rock'em Sock'em Robots, too.
We could do this for an entire... You imagine if we did that for an entire episode? I would love to see what our retention was. It'd be like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Are these guys really going to talk about this stuff for an hour? Once again, my apologies, hooligans. I'm sorry it took us 3 episodes to do this, but I hope you enjoyed our little prance down memory lane. I know hopefully I enjoyed it.
Right. Hopefully it stirred some of your memories, and you feel inclined to put something in the comments for us to be entertained from you.
And with that being said, do you have anything that you would like to add?
Yes, I want a time machine, and I want to go back to the 80s. I want my mullet back.
Oh. Yeah. Take your hat off.
No.
That's why you want your mullet back.
The best part about this is it stirs up memories because you can hear a song and it puts you right back in that place.
If you're listening to us on any of the podcast platforms, please leave us a review. And if you just found us, check out our past episodes. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel and you like this episode, please consider hitting the like button, just like Father Rocco, and leaving us a comment. Hit that subscribe button, just like Father Rocco, so you don't miss any future episodes. And check out these episodes right here. As always, if you made it this far, thank you for supporting us. And don't forget, we should all lead with love and take care of each other. Peace out, Hooligan Nation.